Hi, my name is Santi. I'm 22. I'm going to be running the Big Vitality Half Marathon on the 22nd of August 2021. I was not in the best of places last year purely because I was not doing great. I mean, from the outside, so like when people saw me, they'd be like seeing this happy going guy. I've always been this happy going guy actually, to be fair. But obviously personally, I hit rock bottom. I didn't know what to do. It was more or less like, it was a lot of anxiety, I guess. I think it was more or less like, there was a lot of problems. That really didn't help. That obviously affected me. I looked more tired every day. I looked exhausted. I just didn't look as happy. It was more or less like, I was not happy with myself. I guess there was a lack of respect for my own self. Every day going to a club night, going for a drink out at a park or something like that. It was not helping me inside. I should have spoken to someone at the time, but at the same time, I'm more like an independent person. But even if you're independent, you should talk to people. It makes it more easier because you never know how other people feel as well.
Right. Sorry for my eyes, I've got hay fever. Shout out hay fever. That's it.
Shout out all the plants that destroy him every day.
Shout out Daffodil, shout out sunflowers. Yeah, come on.
My name's Nindi. Oh shit.
I'm Danu, or Tanu, or T, or T-double-E, okay?
Yo, what you say?
Hey, nice to meet you. So wait, my name's Kajonan. Catch, yeah.
My name's Vic.
What do you want to know? I'm 22. I am asexual.
Who are you to me, mate?
I'm your sister, but sister from another mother.
You know, it's like literally
Views on mental health. It's a difficult topic.
I think it's something that it's not really spoken about in our community. That everyone, like when it's brought up, everyone just kind of makes excuses for it. And it's like, oh, you should just deal with it. Like, what is that? Like, why are you complaining? Why are you this? Why are you that?
I think there's a lot of things that go on at once, a lot of things that can scare a lot of people.
Understanding mental health is when you know when your mental health's not good. Just because I think because it fluctuates every day, like everyone's been saying. Like, I think, personally, I don't understand my own mental health.
Just because you look fine doesn't mean you're fine. I didn't know many other people who were going through stuff about me, but the issue was I assumed they weren't going through stuff because it wasn't spoken about.
Lockdown has had everyone in the just feeling bad.
We'd all been there. You know, the avenues we were saying, the two routes. We've all been there. Dark place.
Men, I feel like it's a social thing, like how men can't really speak about their feelings, when in reality they really, really should, and it's so important.
I was on the train and I bumped into one of my mates, and she was just like, oh, how you doing? I was like, yeah, I'm good. And obviously she was like, oh yeah, I see you doing well for yourself, you look so happy. Obviously that's not true, because at the time it was more like I was going through a lot. With me, I always felt insecure about a lot of things. For example, like I buy a lot of clothes, like so many clothes, just to make sure I look good. With insecurities, it was more about how I looked and how I shaped, and I was not feeling the best when I looked at myself in the mirror. Even though I knew I was not looking good, I just still carried on doing what I have to do in it, and I was just getting worse by the minute. Being a bit like materialistic, like I'll buy so much clothes to make sure that I look good for like an event or for a party, for a house party, but that was just like short-term happiness. Like it's not gonna benefit me in the long run whatsoever. A lot of people show, oh yeah, we're living our best lives, but they're not really living their best lives. Do you get what I mean? Like as much as they want to like show it and stunt on it, but I don't think they are.
1% of the time when they're out and just take that one picture, it looks like they're having the time of their life. Because I can't lie, I used to do that. In the sense, I used to post pictures and it looked like I was having so much fun and everything, but in reality, I was honestly just so depressed.
If you are, then that's fine, innit? Don't get me wrong, innit? Like, live your life, innit? Yeah,
if you're popping bottles,
yeah, that's fine. Yeah, exactly. You do, innit? But yeah.
It can become a ladder as well, right?
Yeah.
If you get too infatuated with social media, say because like you'd be surprised about the amount of drip that some people would put on their Insta. Then you see them out on the roads, you're looking bummy, bro. Like you're wearing the same Calvin Kleins like from like 7 years ago. Like what's happening? It was all come down to the fact that like you're caught up in that little game of oh yeah, if I post this picture of me in this top and it gets this many likes, it gets the bit of you're in that battle with yourself of getting more likes with the next photo and looking more drippy in the next photo. And now you're in that ladder of where you're trying to beat your Insta fame or whatnot.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, there's loads of people that profit off that. But if it's something that's literally just to satisfy your own need of being approved by other people through your drip, then that can be very, very kind of, it can spiral you out. It can be really detrimental to your health as well.
It was sort of like a dopamine boost. Like when you're not really feeling the best, you sort of want that just to, I want to feel happy. I want to feel fulfilled.
That's like food.
Yeah, exactly.
Food.
Yeah, exactly.
That's literally like food.
Yeah, I mean, it's something to comfort you. Something to say, okay, this is my safe space.
I was a big guy as well back then. So back then, I think I was weighing around about 101 at the time, or even 102 maybe. Buying clothes means my bank account just goes rinsed out, like it's destroyed. It's literally out. There's no such thing as a bank account for me at that point, I guess. So financially, I was not doing well. Now, even if I'm gonna go into uni, I was not doing well as well. Like I'm going out a lot. With that, obviously, I'm spending a lot on drinks and everything like that. I was drinking a lot. That means finance was not doing well. Then my health's not doing well because I'm drinking a lot as well. And like, it's just, it's like one thing encourages the other thing. So if I spend a lot, it literally like destroys my like appearance because I look more tired, I look more stressed out, I look like I'm like moody all the time. One of those things that I was just unhappy, but I just moved on. And then like with friends as well, it's like, you know, I had so many different issues. Even if it was a small issue, it just became a big issue for no reason. And I'm the type of person at the time who's like a no shit phase, meaning like I wouldn't give a shit what they say. I'll be like, okay, cool, you say that, and then I'll just walk away. And while I walked away, all of that was just piling behind me. Like there was so many issues piling behind, but I just didn't care. And that was like the worst thing, like the fact that I just didn't care. I was scared. I don't know why I was scared to like kind of go back and, you know, sort it out. I just completely just walked away thinking there's no like solution, that's it, because they literally like, yeah, you know, we're not friends, are we? Yeah, cool, whatever, innit? So I looked like, obviously on a screen, over text, I looked like a big man, like, oh yeah, I don't care. But obviously at the same time, off the screen, I just felt like, oh shit, I just lost a friend. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Obviously with family, because I'm going out a lot, right? Obviously I'm not chilling with parents as much, and they work like 5 days a week as well, and so I barely see them. Like they work, they come back home, so they work early in the morning, right? And they come back home quite early-ish. But with me, I wake up late and I come back home late. So technically speaking, they won't even see me as much in it. The only time they'll see me is probably I'm like fast asleep. Do you get what I mean? So it's peak. Obviously my relationship with them was kind of like breaking down. Like it was basically shattered at this point, innit? Because it's like arguments and everything like that. Because obviously, you know, like they know, like I was just ruthless when it comes to like just, you know, not caring and just going out and just not caring about my body, not caring about anyone else. I just cared about, you know, partying hard, drinking a lot, you know. It was mad, innit? So education was down, finance was down, health was shit, friendship was crap as well, and even my relationship with my parents was crap. That was just like a learning curve, I guess. Obviously, when I think about it as a learning curve, at the time I was obviously in pain, I can say. Like I didn't accept it. There was like this ego, because obviously like, oh yeah, like how could they do that? Or all that, just, you know, all that happening, all just crashed all at once. And it all came down on the 13th of March 2020, where just I basically hit rock bottom. Completely hit rock bottom. Didn't know what I was doing, didn't know how to feel, and then like then you get that choice, because basically it was like one of those things where it's either I take my own life away or I fix it. It was not like one of those decisions I could make on the spot. Obviously, I took a while to think about everything. And then I think what made me not do the other option of taking my own life away is because I thought about the people that cared about me. The choices are obviously you either take your life away or you do something about it. Obviously, at the time, I took some time to think and reflect on, is it worth it to stay here and live? If everything's so shit, if everything's crashed down, like, is that it? You get what I mean?
How did people around you and family take what you were going through if you spoke to them about it?
With me and Appa was like, we already had like this kind of like the typical father and son talk, which is chilled because like he is a chilled guy as well. So like I think maybe I first had that type of father and son talk was like back in first year, because obviously they've experienced it as well, and it like all sorts of stuff in it. So like for me and Appa, it was easy to talk. So me and Amma, we do talk, but obviously just recently we started opening up. But if I did, like, coming back to your question, if I did tell them at the time, I feel like he would have, Appa would have spoke to me, but I think he would have spoken to like my cousin, because they're all like the same age as me. So I think that would be his approach, because he would rather like talk to my age a lot, so to see how I feel. Because I don't think he will trust what I'm saying at the time. The way I approach it is like, at the time, now it's a bit different. At the time I approached it as like, if I told them this, would they understand? And also like, would they care about my BS? Like, obviously it's rude to say it's BS, but obviously at the time I was thinking it's just my BS about it. But I just thought about it for the next couple of days, like what should I do? And then I think the changing factor was when I thought about everyone else, especially my parents. I'm my only child as well, so like if I took my life away, then what do they have to live for? So like it's just sad to think like that. It's sad that I actually thought about like that as well. It's sad that I actually thought I should take my life away. Do you get what I mean? It's because life is such a gift. It's like it's so precious. We're so lucky to be here as well. And the fact that I actually thought it was wise to like take my life away, I'm just it's not embarrassed, I'm more disappointed, let's just say, in it, that I actually thought about it.
I think piecing everything apart,
Yeah.
like half the stuff that I was stressing about weren't even in my hands. They're not even things that I can deal with. Like I couldn't fix them myself. So like abri is just one of those things. You just
yeah.
I don't know. You will get through it. You've got through it. You're proof to the people that are watching. So
To be fair, Gaj was there from day dot when it came to the situation about my like when I first like
I think
properly.
we were going through similar things at the same time. Yeah.
it's a thing, innit? Everyone will go through it.
Yeah.
Everyone does go through it.
Yeah.
But there's light at the end of the tunnel. I think that's one of the biggest things.
I think getting your thoughts onto paper is a big thing as well. Like
100%.
because if you can't chat to someone, you might as well talk to yourself. You get me? Like write everything down on a piece of paper, and you can see, systematically what you don't like about yourself and what you want to fix, right? So then you can like start creating goals for yourself.
Yeah.
I think goals are really important. Like
To be ambitious.
Yeah,
basically,
just you always have to start somewhere, right? Like
100%.
just one goal at a time. Just start smashing them out the window.
But it's true. There's always light at the end of the tunnel. There's always a way through it.
Yeah. What my best advice is for everyone who's watching this, who wants to make a change, is that make the smallest changes. As much as like I used to be that type of guy who doesn't believe in that, but it's actually quite true. It's so.
I think it's
so
called
true.
the compound effect or something like that. It's like
okay.
it's like you sort of like make little changes every day, but in the long term,
Yeah.
it sort of adds up.
So at this point, like I had nothing to lose because I lost everything. So when you have that mentality in your head, you have a nothing to lose mentality, then you can do anything you want. At the time, because it was lockdown, a lot of people were doing loads of stuff. Like we were talking about dance covers, singing, next level talents. I'm not that talented, but there are loads of talented people. But then there was a section of people who was doing fitness. right? Shout out to my cousin and Indy. They were doing the fitness thing, so they were snapping it. So I was already down, so I look at myself. Oh yeah, my cousin's running this. Oh yeah, Nindy's doing this. The first transition I thought at that point was to just get off social media, not compare myself. I think that was a big issue with me. I compared myself to everyone else. Like if someone, I don't know, danced, I'll be like, why can't I not dance like that? I felt like fitness was something I can kind of dive into because I'm a sports fan. I love my football, I love my MMA, I love my boxing, I love my wrestling. I watch pretty much every sport there is. I've seen loads of people just going, trying their best to do it. I felt like, yo, this is it. Like, if I can do this, then maybe, there's some hope at the end of the tunnel, basically. And basically turned my phone into do not disturb mode. So literally that was the best thing I did, I remember. The second thing is I followed a training program. For those who follow training programs at this time, please, I recommend you do not follow them because it will never lead you anywhere. Okay, maybe it would, but my personal advice, don't follow those programs because trust me, just follow YouTube. I mean, you can do anything if you watch YouTube videos, like this whole setup. For YouTube, innit? I thought April 1st was the perfect day to start clean. So take out all my habits, all my, things I don't want to follow and start following new goals and habits as well. So I started like this. I weighed myself. At the time I weighed 101. Was very, very body conscious as well. So it took me a while to take a picture of myself. It took me like a good goddamn 20 minutes to figure out what angle should I pose it, position. But I just thought, you know what, let me naturally just do it, innit? Bear in mind, I never did it in my life. I never done something like this in my life. So it was something new and I was actually quite excited, but at the same time quite anxious. It's a mixture of feelings basically. So obviously that from April to May, it was more like a transition of trying to cut out foods that are not good for me, cut out drinks that are not good for me, start having a workout routine, basically having a routine, not just fitness but revision and everything like that. The whole month was more like a trial and error for diet. Tried new foods, tried new proteins, tried new veggies, stick to our water as well. Even though I saw a Diet Coke, oh yeah, that was another thing, I drank 2 cans of Diet Coke every day. So at the end of May, I weighed around about 94 kg. So that just showed after 2 months of, trial and errors and all these fitness bullshit programs and all the running, it ended up, me losing a bit of weight. I guess that's one of those things where if you just be more consistent and have the right mentality, then obviously you can achieve what you want.
How long did it take you to see results? How long
I think at the time I didn't look at the results straight away. I didn't look at myself in the mirror. So at first I was looking at myself saying, why am I not changing? Why am I changing? This is shit. Do you get what I mean? Why am I not changing? One of my good mates, AJ, shout out to Salsa, right? He was just stop looking at yourself and stop weighing yourself. Just do it. And then naturally, your mentality would be okay, there's no point of looking at it. You would just focus on the end goal. 6 weeks, 7 weeks maybe? 6 to 7 weeks. Maybe the results happened way shorter, but that's when I realised myself. I still carried on my fitness goals. And then with lockdown easing off, I went to obviously Motives. So obviously I'm out with one of my close boys and he was like to me, oh yeah, why don't you do this marathon? So he was supposed to do a marathon last year in March, because of COVID it got shut down. Obviously you're telling me you've been running, why don't you do it? So I was like, cool, let me see. Obviously at the time I was like, yeah, whatever, innit? But it never came across that I'm gonna do it. It was just a thought. The next couple months I was carrying on training and I was doing well. The weight was going down. Basically it was just a touch wood, right? Everything was going so well at the time, and it still is, don't get me wrong, in the touch wood for that. November 2020. So it was a time when I felt it was right to start applying for marathons, because in the summer I couldn't, because everyone has already applied back in March or Feb. So I didn't know if there's any more marathons, but then one of my friends actually told me that there's actual marathon got to come out this year in 2021, but you have to apply 6 months in advance to apply for it. Then it was a spark. It was okay, now I have a real goal. This half marathon that is 20k, I'm going to be doing it. Obviously at this point I'm just running 5Ks. It's official, mate. I've entered the Vitality Big Half 2021, the London Marathon. Man's doing a marathon, but always want to do a marathon to raise awareness for mental health in men. So I was like, oh, let's just do a marathon then. With marathon training, it was more or less me doing hill climbs, endurance running, seeing how far I can go, me checking how fast I can run, because I'm trying to hit a certain goal. So say for example, at the time, I was doing like 8 minutes per K. If I want to do well in this marathon, I should be aiming at least by 5 minutes per K, or even 6 minutes. And that is, it's dangerous. But if you have the right mindset for it, then you can achieve it. I didn't even know at this point. I didn't even look in the mirror because obviously I felt great. I felt great after like 6 or 7 months of training, because I was doing in that November period, also lockdown, running and doing the marathon training, that I didn't know how like lean I got. Shout out to Linda and Santi, and he knew about it, but they were like, oh, so you look more leaner now. But I didn't realize that because I never looked at myself. Did 1 month of this. Now I'm going to slowly ease off the marathon training because obviously Christmas is going to happen and I've got Jan exams. So I started doing my normal training program, which is just 5K, a few push-ups and sit-ups, right? Christmas was finished. After Jan exams finished, I went back to the routine. But the beginning of February, I had some bad news. So my marathon was actually postponed.
Man's got the email. It's the 26th of February and I'm going to find out if my marathon's still on. And guess what? It is still on, but it's been postponed to the 22nd of August. Can't lie, bit disappointing because I still want to do it, but I don't know, like 22nd of August is calm, like I don't mind, but I feel like I'll still run on the 25th, but like my own track with my mate Santi as well. So yeah, but I probably will do it. I'll probably do 2 marathons, my marathon and this marathon. So yeah. I was training so well, and now I don't have that end goal. So automatically you feel more crap about yourself. I didn't feel this bad about myself, shit about myself since last year March. But it was not as bad as last year March. It was just a bit like of a letdown, because obviously you're working this hard for something and you're pushing this hard, and you know that's it. Like. They might just say do it next year, you know, and no one's got time for that. Like, you want to do it this year, innit?
Did you hit low points?
Yeah, that February was one of the low points. Like, I was like, why am I still doing this? Like, if it's postponed, like, I actually stop because I got exams around the corner. They did give me a choice of you can either do it in this year August or next year. Obviously the choice was clear, I'm gonna do it this year. But it didn't feel the same. It took a while to get back into that routine and pushing myself.
And in those moments, like, how'd you what did you do?
I think it was like more of like I was always, when I run, I dream a lot. I have a lot of ambition in my head. I have a lot of ambition in my head.
Don't put this bit in, put the other bit in.
Basically, what happened is during this little ad break, so someone asked me,
What do you think about when you're running?
What do I think about when I'm running? I just said, like, I think about fantasies, not exactly like fantasies, like, not on whatever you lot been thinking. Fantasies meaning like, so there's a movie called Creed, right? I know it's just a movie, but the training program is so good to watch. And on top of that is Michael B. Jordan, so you cannot get your eyes off him as well, innit? So, like, literally, fantasies meaning like that because I picture myself as Michael B. Jordan, even though I'm not Michael B. Jordan, isn't it? The training programs I see, he has been doing running. I think it was in Creed 2 where I remember he literally outpaced a car. That's why I want to clarify in this room and on camera that fantasies mean that I think about films. When I'm doing my marathon training, I think about like how am I going to celebrate once I'm done? Because I always want to be different. As everyone wants to be different in this world as well, innit? In order to be different, you need to do something different. So that's why I'm training as hard as I can to do something not a lot of people would expect. So that's why I set a time. Because my cousin helped me out. Dreams. Ambition. Stop.
Yeah.
Ambition, yes.
You said fantasies. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
you meant,
yeah.
you know when you
Okay,
said
ambition.
fantasies, I
Yeah.
think you're just saying goals, but you
Goals.
worded it wrong and said fantasies.
Yeah, no. Unfortunately, my wording is very bad.
You need a script writer behind this, like a.
I mean, I have a whole production team behind me. For example, like a YouTuber called Ethan Bazinga, like he did exactly what I'm doing right now. He went through a weight loss journey, and I actually idolized him a bit because we looked quite similar. Obviously, he weighed a bit more, but very similar in the before cut. And then obviously I saw his whole journey and how he became like this really, really like fit guy, and now he feels more better for himself. Like he feels more happier. When I looked at him, his marathon got postponed as well at the time. But what picked him up was more or less like he just knew that regardless of what happens, he's still got to do it. It's one of those things like once you're dedicated, you can't stop. So I thought about it. I was like, you know what, like let's just keep going. You know, it's going to happen. So once I finished my exams, I went back. After June, I started running. But obviously, lockdown now is officially over. More motive started to come. Obviously training was going a bit like in a zigzag way, like it was just going up and down in it, but I never lost that touch because I still stuck to how many calories I should be consuming. Regardless of me eating out or not, I knew that if I ate out, that means I'm going to train even harder the next day or even that night. If I ate something that I should not be eating, then I remember coming back home, I would just either go for a run or even I would just go for a bit of a cycle, and I would tell myself like, let's not slack, because I've came this far, and me just eating something, I don't want like that to drag me back down. I guess my mentality is improving since last year because now like I'm encouraging myself to do something better.
With a lot of things in life, when your back's pushed up against the wall, that's when you can prosper way through it. Like for example, let's say, you know, when you're saying you're experiencing financial hardship, when you hit that broke limit, that's when you're like, okay, I need to get my P's up. That's when I need to like start grinding a lot. And that's when you truly understand the value of money. Yeah. Same thing with a lot of stuff. With even like with health as well. It's only when your health gets to that point of, oh damn, like my health is bad, where you start to appreciate, okay, I need to start putting in the work for this. And it applies with so much stuff as well. And I think that's why, like with social media as well, like you have to almost, not you have to, but a lot of people that go through that, if you can get past the stage of caring so much about it that you take an outside perspective and you're like, wait a minute here, like I'm tapping on a screen, and for some reason I feel validated by the end of the day, and that same screen makes me feel like dog shit the next day. But it's a screen. It's like it's a piece of glass. Like you're just tapping on a glass, and suddenly like that's your weekend or your weekend done.
You shouldn't ever live your life thinking about what other people think.
Facts.
But what you do, you should be conscious about who you're going to affect. So you shouldn't ever do something to hurt someone.
That's
you should never do something knowing you're going to hurt certain people. That should be consciously on your mind. But in general, other things in your life, you shouldn't be thinking, okay, what's am I going to think? What's up? I'm going to think? What's so like?
So now we're 3 weeks into maybe the biggest challenge of my life, and then obviously once I did that, hopefully we'll see the bigger outcomes as well. Probably do a full marathon. You never know. I'll be going in this golden expedition of collecting medals, but obviously, hopefully, you will see in it.
You know what? It's been good though. As in, like, the thing is, right, I think despite all the setbacks of lockdown, like, even though, like, on the surface, it was a really shit thing, right? But with, like, really hard times, like, there's a lot of fortune that comes from it as well. And I feel as though that's, like, it's a kind of step back that you needed to just pattern life as well. And, like, I think it really shows as well, like, because at the start of lockdown, when you're feeling, like, really shit as well, right? And I think when you go through something like that, literally the advance that you make in your mind, it allows you to improve so much better in life as well. And just having that kind of outside perspective, I think helped you so much too. Like, you can see, so like physically, of course, you've gotten in so much better shape, but I think mentally, come on, man. But as in, like, I think your mental advancement is very, very slept on too. Like, it's very easy to appreciate, oh, you've lost this much weight, because you can put it into numbers. You can visually see it. But with the way that they progress, the way that they view life, or how they prioritize certain things, that is very, very, like, you can't see that as easily, and it takes a lot more time to appreciate it as well. And that's one thing I've noticed about you as well, and I really, really admire it, man. Come on. See that.
I'm so proud of you.
Thanks, man.
I'm so happy with how much progress you've made this past year and a half. I'm honestly I'm a proud, even though he's my older brother technically, I just feel like a proud mum. Like, you've accomplished so much, you've done so well for yourself mentally and physically. I've seen the progress that you've made. I'm so proud of you. And I can't wait for your journey. I'm so happy to be here for the rest of your journey. And honestly, dude, you're gonna smash this marathon. All of us are gonna be waiting there, cheering you on.
All of us will be waiting.
It's not my fault.
And honestly, be so proud of yourself, because I don't know if you can see it, but trust me, everyone around you is rooting for you, and we cannot wait for you.
I mean,
successful
that's
in there?
exactly what I expect. The ones that no, you can't do
No.
it. Sorry, Nins. Thank you. I appreciate it.
No, it's cool.
I appreciate it.
I wanted to say a big well done to this man because it takes a lot of guts to sit in front of a camera. Come. Come. It takes It takes a lot to I think open up. I'm very proud of you.
Oh, okay.
And
Thanks, man.
all the best in it.
Oh, thank you, man.
This got really soppy real quick, innit?
I know.
I can't. Don't put that.
And that's how I respect you what you're doing right now, like running the marathon and stuff after just like less than a year of training, right? Yeah. That's mad. Like hopefully your marathon goes well. And I'll be there on the day, you know, supporting as well. Little on the yeah, it's cool. No, good luck on the 22nd.
Oh, this is serious, yeah.
Yeah. On the 22nd, good luck. You got this. You got a few weeks left, and you got us, man.
Yeah,
all of us are here to support you as well on the day, so hopefully it goes well, and we'll celebrate after. Oh.
Thanks, bro.
You know the edit. Can you just like zoom in every time?
Yeah. Financial, or your health, or even social media. Going past that, that's when you truly become, for us men, for obviously girls, we women, and in general, be adults. Yeah. That's when you become like
so when you actually mature, not on like an age limit, right? It's just back to the mind, isn't it?
Mentality. This
See,
conversation
went back in a circle. Oh my god!
This is exactly why I said we have intellectual conversations.
You know what? You're welcome. Okay. You're welcome.
Reach out to someone. Trust me. If you don't, then it's going to be one hell of a ride. Trust me, I went through it. But at the end, I did reach out to people. I did speak to people, and after speaking to some people, I obviously found out that they also went through their own stuff. So if you ever feel like you're the only one going through it, trust me, there's a bigger picture to it. Like, a lot of people are going through the same thing. But the end goal is talk to someone, right? Don't feel like you're always alone. Trust me, you might have a sibling, you might have a friend. Even you can talk to your parents or even someone. There's supportive groups out there as well, innit? I know it sounds weird saying there's supportive groups out there, but trust me, like, you never know. Like, if you feel comfortable talking to someone like that, then talk to someone like that. Even it could be an online friend, it could be a stranger. I feel like personally, you can open up to strangers more than your actual own friends and family. Like, it's weird as it sounds, but it is true. Yeah, so yeah, this is literally my documentary. Obviously, follow my link on my bio. I see you, man. Yeah, I know you, man, who donated for me. I love you lots. But no, shout out to everyone in the room, you know, and upstairs. But you know what? If you do come and see me, come and see me. Personally, like, I'm doing this because, like, I just want to show people that even the most happy-going people like me at the time also will go through some sort of like stuff, right? It's hard for other people to reach out because obviously, I mean, in this room when we discussed during some of our breaks, like, it's hard because like you just don't know. Sometimes you do know, but it's hard to ask. Like, you don't know how to approach them. I pray that you, like, whoever is suffering or whoever is going through something like that, I pray that you do talk to someone, because trust me, my biggest regret is not talking to someone at the time.